right, welcome to the St. Canard Files, the Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana, and
I'm Stan Lund, and did things just get dangerous?
did it, Stan? Did it get dangerous?
I think it did, Will.
Okay, all right. So today, guys, we are going to review Justice Ducks number 2. What was the name of this one again, Stan?
Day of the Maven.
All right, we're going to get into the Day of the Maven, but we have a little bit of pre-talk before we get into that. Stan, you wanted to talk about that long sleeve T-shirt, correct?
Yeah. So
All right.
we got new Darkwing merch. It's a long sleeve shirt. It's yellow, has the Darkwing logo, Thunderquack on the sleeves. It has an unusual bit of art of Megavolt you don't really see very much, but as Mike would mention, it does use that same laughing launch pad that all the other recent merch seems to use.
Yeah. Are you going to get it, or have you ordered it already?
I have not ordered it. I'm debating on it because I don't really wear long sleeve shirts all that much.
Okay, I do mostly like in the wintertime. I also like long sleeve shirts just in general. I think they kind of look a little more professional sometimes when I'm out there. I know it's Darkwing Duck, so I don't know how professional that can look, but I'm a big fan of long sleeve t-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's it going for? Do you know the price for it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd say probably 30 if I had to guess.
Okay, so that $30, I was gonna say maybe 33, 34 ballpark. So we're probably in the same field. Okay. And it's located on the Disney shop, correct?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Stan, there's something else you wanted to talk about. I'll let you lead this one.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of a sad bit of news for y'all. Recently, we lost voice actor Peter Renaday, who most of you are probably more familiar with as the voice of Splinter in the 1987 Ninja Turtles cartoon. But us Darkwing fans are feeling the loss as well, because he voiced Derek Blunt in the Darkwing episode In Like Blunt.
Okay, I remember that one, Derek Blunt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's on my map.
Are you a huge fan of the '87 Ninja Turtles?
Oh yeah.
I would say I'm a casual fan. I do enjoy it, but I've never seen every single episode. I kind of don't like Shredder on those on the OG series because I feel like he cowers out a lot compared to the movies where he's just a hardcore OG. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
but James Avery brought a lot of fun to that
oh,
role.
I'm not going to criticize the voice. I'm not criticizing the voice. I'm just criticizing the character a little bit. You know. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the OG Ninja Turtles, but I'm not a diehard fan of it.
I would probably say I'm a diehard fan. I mean, I'm diehard of a fan enough where I've got a single piece signed by 3 of the 4 voice actors for the cartoon for the Turtles.
Okay. All right. So moving on from that, Stan, you read every Justice Duck comic so far? Every issue?
Yes.
Okay. And without spoilers, do you enjoy them?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. So yeah, you're not gonna get specific on which episodes you do and don't. Okay. Or issues.
No, but there are some issues I like more than others, and without getting too into it, I really think the ending fell flat on its face.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. Who's this written by and who's our artist, Stan?
So the writer, once again, is Roger Langridge, and the artist is, again, Carlo Loro.
All right. So Stan, which cover did you end up getting? Did you get multiple covers or just one?
I only got one cover, but I think it's probably the best cover they did for it. I got the Morgana negative space, I think is what they call it, where it's the character and then like their signature color is behind them.
Mm-hmm. I think I got 3 of them. Let me open up the back part so I can see which ones I got. Okay, so I got cover B, cover D, and that may be it. So I only got 2 covers, I think. Yeah, I got the Morgana one and cover B. Those are the 2 I have.
Cover B, for those who are wondering, is the group enclosed in a bubble with rock monsters trying to attack them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get cover C. I didn't like that one at all. And then I think cover A, I think, was sold out, so I didn't get it.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't get cover A since Morgana was on that one too.
Yeah, yeah, I should have got that one, but I think I missed out. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll get it eventually.
I was gonna say there's always eBay.
Yeah.
I gotta go that route this month to get the final two action figure covers for the Negaduck line.
Oh, you didn't get the action figure covers? You didn't get those?
Not for the final two issues, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I got them all, man. I got every single one of them. Yeah, I got them from multiple sites. I don't want to give out our sites here on public, but I'll tell you behind the scenes where I've been getting it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Stan, go ahead and lead us into this one. Get us started. Get us going on this.
So we start a few days ago in a weird location with something that's kind of out of character. We're in a secret lab where Fenton is going in, and there's some intern that knows he's getting Gizmo.
Yeah, so no gyro, huh?
No, no gyro.
Now I gotta tell you, Stan, this first page is a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
You agree?
Oh, yeah.
All right, go ahead and lead us away, man.
So the intern explains he's installed a few new devices. First up, the gizmodium drill, which is supposedly the hardest substance ever invented, and it should be able to penetrate anything. Very useful for those particularly challenging cans of soup. Then we got telescopic arms, although they call them wrists, perfect for stealth, inaccessible rescues, and really high shelves where I keep the soup. What's his deal with the soup?
I don't know, man.
And then
uh,
last but not least, the Gizmodium mirror, virtually unbreakable. Very nice, but what the heck is it for? Isn't it obvious? It's so you don't cut yourself shaving. Do keep up.
so Stan, before we turn the page, man, come on. Did you see all the foreshadowing already when you first read that page, or did
When
you
I
not?
first when I first read the page, I knew some of those would probably come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know which ones or the fact that all three of them play a part.
Okay, I'll give you that. I did not know all three were going to play a part, but I definitely thought at least one of them, especially the one they focused on at the end, was going to play a part. You know?
Actually, that's the one I didn't see coming. I
Really?
figured the arms would be something. I thought the drill probably would. The mirror I thought was just a throwaway gag.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. All right. So now we get into Saint Canard. So obviously that was foreshadowing. For them to go from the live to this, it's you clearly foreshadowing, correct?
Yeah,
All right. Go ahead, Stan.
the city of St. Canard never truly sleeps, but at 4 in the morning it could be said to be taking a nap. But we get a would you say that's a wardrobe or a cabinet that appears?
I think it's like a wardrobe thing, but I guess didn't they refer to it like as a pod, like a space pod or something?
Yeah, they did
Okay.
call it a pod.
Okay, but it definitely looks like a wardrobe.
But we have two new characters, the
Yep.
Maiden and Tulip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are supposed to be kind of Doctor Who-esque characters.
Ah,
Now,
see, I've never seen Doctor Who before.
I've not really watched any of it, but I know enough about it from pop culture to get the reference of that, as well as some of the bad guys coming up. Although I will say Tulip seems to dress a bit more like Marty McFly.
Mm-hmm. There's something else in here that gives me a Back to the Future reference. We'll get into that a little bit later. I'm sure
All
you
right.
already know where I'm going with it, huh?
I'm not entirely sure yet, but
Okay, I'll let you know when we get there then. But basically, they're time travelers, correct?
time and space travel.
Okay, yeah, because they said
Yeah,
that they're now in the 21st century, so that told me they were time traveler. But then they were like Earth, correct? You know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, all right, well, I'll shut up. Keep going, Stan.
So they banter a bit about some sentient toadstools, which maybe it is a Mario reference, but I don't think so. Didn't you think the giant teeth were a dead giveaway? So they wander off, and then another thing pop or warps in,
Hmm.
and is the entrance of our bad guy, though we don't know his name quite yet.
Not yet. Yep. And then it says all rather mysterious.
Yep.
All
So
right.
then today, two people are at a restaurant. Who are they?
We got Morgana and Dark. I gotta say Dark because who he's with.
Well, not just that, but he is dressed as Darkwing.
Yep.
So bold to insist we go to lunch in costume. Everyone's staring. Little old Drake Mallard couldn't have gotten us this table at an hour's notice. Darkwing Duck, on the other hand.
So basically, he's using Darkwing privilege, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So what are they eating, Stan?
It looks like noodles, but it has some sort of very hard to say name. I'm gonna try, but it's probably gonna be butchered. PC Aligami.
Good enough for me, man. That works for me. All right, keep going, Stan.
So they start to eat over the beak, past the tongue, look out belly, and then Darkwing's meal is zapped away by a bunch of robots. That's again a Doctor Who reference because they're screaming the word fossilize, which is similar to the Daleks who go exterminate.
Oh, okay. All right,
So
and
what
it
are these robots doing?
looks like they're zapping the statues and zapping people and stuff.
Yep, they're turning the statues to life and they're turning people to statues, including the Pirate Steven cameo for the issue.
Really? Oh, I see. Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not catch that. Good eye. Good eye,
He made it
Stan.
into this issue.
Yep. And then
Suffering. And then Darkwing has a little bit of alliteration. Suffering sciatica, sinister sentinel statuing the citizenry of the city.
all right. And then who does Morgana call on?
Well, she calls on the Justice Ducks, telling them that we have a fossilization situation. We also get the title on this page.
Yep, Day of the Maven.
Yeah.
All right. And then the Justice Ducks show up. We got Neptunia, we got Gizmo, and we got Stegmut.
Yeah.
But you know what really strange is how mad Stegmut looks on that incoming photo. I've never seen him that like angry before.
Oh yeah. Like he looks like he's channeling a certain somebody that he's going to reference a couple panels from now.
Yep. And then Morgana kind of fills them in that they have a lot of statues and some crazy robots. And she's like, first thing we have to do is stop the robots.
Yeah. And of course, Neptunia points out, wait, what are we supposed to be experts on fighting robots now? Neptunia, remember, I talked to fish.
Yep. And then Gizmo tells them that he's just a suit. And then he asks Stegman, does he have anything?
Smash him? We could smash him? And that was what I was referencing, because that's kind of like a Hulk thing.
Yeah, that's got to be a Hulk thing.
So, yeah, because that earlier angry segment looked like he was channeling his inner Hulk.
Yeah. And Morgana actually co-signed Stegman's plan.
Yeah. I mean, as far as plans go, I've heard worse.
Yep. So they go after the smash them. How's it go, Stan?
Well, it goes okay, though you missed an amazing quip. Because Neptunia says, please don't let me regret this. And Morgana tells her, look on the bright side. With that trident of yours, you'll make an amazing statue. Like, that is a good one. I'll grant them.
Okay.
But yeah, they beat down the robots. But it's not going overly well.
Yeah, because Morgana gets tied up. Darkwing's like struggling a little bit.
Yeah, though he says something I don't really feel is quite in character. I keep saying this isn't my area of expertise. Some nice bank robbers? Now that's more my kind of menace. It's like, Darkwing, you face off against supervillains.
Yeah, and then somebody asked them if they want some help.
Yeah, and it's Tulip and the Maven again.
Yep, Tulip and Maven, and Maven has like a device in his hand. He just pushes like a button and it jams their signal.
Yeah, I love how snarky Tulip is to him though. Like
Hmm.
like Maven's like, "Good afternoon, I'm the Maven, and this is Tulip. We may have a solution for your immediate problem." She's like, "Or we may not. His gadgets don't always work."
Yep. And then Maven kind of is like saying, "Well, it did the job, sort of, kind of deal, right?"
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he presses the button, thinking that's just going to jam the signals, and instead it blows up the robots. That wasn't supposed to happen. They were just meant to stop. I mean, it did the job, but more like 40-60, I'd say.
Yep. And then this is where Tulip tells us who the villain's name is.
Yeah, it's not overly inspired, but again, I think it kind of fits in with the whole Doctor Who thing. The
Okay.
villain is called the Botherer.
All right. And is there a Doctor Who villain that with a similar name, something like that, or something?
That I don't know, but
Okay.
I think they used to do kind of silly namings. I mean, they refer to stuff in that show a lot as tiny whiny stuff. So it
Okay.
wouldn't surprise me if they have a bad guy that has a similar name.
Yeah. And then this is where Netunia asked him, "Is the threat over?" And
Yeah.
she's asking, "Are the poor people back to normal now?"
And Gizmo Doctor asks, "Okay, well, what does this botherer look like?" Black clothes, loves black clothes. This is going to sound silly, but he kind of looks evil. And what does Neptunia ask?
She asked, "Does he wear a cape?"
Yes, he does. How did you? And then they realize he's standing behind them.
Yep. So that's one of those things like you could tell like they're gonna stand behind them and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'll say one thing.
go ahead, Stan.
Scrooge would be very happy since the villain has a mustache. It's really small and hard to see, but he has them.
Yeah, it's very, very small. I didn't even notice that until you just said that.
How are foolish mortals, for I am the terror that glides through the stars. I am the botherer.
And
He
Morgana said that
reminds,
reminds her of someone. It clearly does.
yeah, though Darkwing doesn't get it, though I think we all do.
Yeah, we definitely get it. And then Gizmo tells the duck the villain to hold still.
Yeah, as he and Segment run in for capture, but the villain's not dumb enough to be actually standing there. It's just a hologram,
Yep, it's
which
just a
causes,
hologram. Hmm.
which causes our two heroes to collide into one another.
Yep, and they both get bumps on their heads.
Yeah,
And then the bother lets him know he's getting prepared for stage two.
yeah,
And what's
which
stage two, Stan?
uh, stage two, all of the citizens that were turned into stone statues turn into stone monsters.
Yep, they're like rock soldiers.
Yeah, which is exactly what he calls them.
Yep, and he's saying, "I shall take over your city. Once I have seized your resources, I shall build more robots."
Yeah, he tells them to grab the Maven and his do-gooding allies, and they actually do manage to grab the Maven and to.
Yep. All right, so we're on to the next page, and then what's next, Stan?
Well, somebody puts up a shield. I'm assuming either I think it's Net or Morgana
I was
at
gonna
times,
say I assumed it was Morgana too, using some magic or something.
especially the fact that she has her arm out. Like
Hmm.
I think is a giveaway.
Hmm.
And as they're being drug away, the Maven tells them that there's always a raid that triggers the transformation. If they stop it, everyone turns back to normal, and they'll be somewhere in the highest landmark.
Yep, and that's the Saint Canard clock tower. That was my other Back to the Future reference. See?
Ah,
The clock tower.
okay. Though it doesn't look like the one from the film.
No, it doesn't look like it, but it made me think of Back to the Future though.
You know what it reminds me of, and I wish I had had the foresight to pull it out and check, but I wonder if the clock tower here looks the same as the one in the Time Turtle story.
Hmm. Okay.
Because didn't that take place in a clock tower when they fought that clock villain?
I never read that or
You've not read that?
oh
It's in that annual you love so much.
oh you talking about Darkwing? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I definitely read that.
yeah. That's what I'm
Hmm.
curious about. If that clock tower design in this is the same as the one in that.
I don't think it's the same. I remember it being different. It was like more goldish looking.
Yeah, like I said, I'd have to double check. But
Okay.
sure enough, he is set up at the clock tower.
Yeah. All right. And
And
then Darkwing wants to get out. He's like, "Let me out, Morgana. I've got this."
yeah, and in typical Darkwing fashion, says he doesn't need the rest of them slowing him down. And
But
he calls Launchpad.
yep. He picks up a phone, but it doesn't look like a phone. No, no,
No, it
no.
looks
He's
like,
telling Launchpad to pick up the phone, right?
yeah, he wants Launchpad to pick up the phone. Darkwing's talking into what appears to be a pencil with a
Yeah.
giant eraser or a button on the top.
That Launchpad's in the middle of a bath, though.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if this was by design, but his bathtub looks suspiciously like a helicopter.
It really does. All right. Yep. And he's like, "Can a fella have a nice, relaxing soak in the tub without being interrupted?"
Yeah. I told you before, I don't need any inflatable walruses. Now, please stop calling me.
Hmm. And then we hear Darkwing say, "Launchpad, you goofball! I need a thundercrack at Saint Canard Plaza, and I need it now."
Thanks. Right away, TW, sir. I'll be there in 2 shakes. No, make that a shake and a half.
Yep. So now Launchpad takes off in the thundercrack, and what's going on?
Well, he's trying to put his pants on while flying. For some reason, I don't know why he wouldn't have put them on before he started flying, but
Yeah.
I guess that's just LP for you.
Yep.
And the Justice Ducks are trying to hold off the Rock soldiers. Though some of them aren't trying to get to them, some are chasing Darkwing instead.
Yep. And then Darkwing gets to the clock tower, and he's asking, "Where's his ride?" He's like, "Come on, LP."
And LP shows up, lowers the ladder, and immediately clonks Darkwing on the head, knocking him out.
Yep. And then Tunya tells Gizmo Duck, "We need to pull him in. What have you got?"
By a remarkable coincidence, I have just the thing. And
Yep.
introducing his extendo arms that were foreshadowed back on the first page.
Yep. So there's go foreshadowing number one.
Yep,
They grab Darkwing, and he's now pulled into their little protective shield.
yep,
And they make a big charge, and they all say, "For the Justice Ducks."
yep. Although, from what I can tell, it seems like Morgana stays behind in the bubble with Darkwing.
Hmm. All right. So we got the other three, and they jump onto the Thundercrack, the ladder that it drops down, right?
Yeah, and make their way to the clock tower. Unfortunately, Stegma and Neptunia both get zapped.
Yep. They got zapped.
Yep, turn the stone. So now it's up to Gizmo Duck to save everyone. And he is in combat with the Bottler.
Yep. He says, "No dice, do your worst." And then the baller tells him, "You asked for it," so they about to go at it.
Yep, he tries to zap him with his ray. Here comes foreshadowing number 3, I guess. I mean, number 2 in the
Number
order that they
two.
show him, but third in the first page where they were shown off. But the mirror
Yep. So
flashes Ray back onto himself.
yeah, so he gets zapped, and now to deal with this, simplest thing too is just to drill right through it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the drill doesn't work. Looks like Gizmodium is the second hardest substance ever invented.
Yep, and then so what does he use to damage the machine?
Well, first he tries to use Neptunia's trident, which I'm guessing she must have dropped when she got Turnstone.
Hmm.
He That doesn't work. He tries a laser on it. That doesn't work. And then he gets the idea to remove the batteries.
Yep. And that works. Just pull out the battery. They look like Duracells.
Yeah, they do look like Duracells.
Mm-hmm.
That reverts everyone back to not being stone anymore.
Yeah, Gizmo Duck tells them, "Welcome back, comrades." And then we get we see the people of the Saint Canard. They return to their normal selves.
Yeah. So pretty soon everything is back to normal, or at least as normal as it ever gets for a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
they
then
do have the Botherer captured. I guess Gizmo Duck either tied up the stone statue before trying to deal with the ray, or managed to stop him just after he reverted after.
yeah, I did think it was weird that everybody was holding hot dogs, though.
Yeah. Well, it's not that weird considering the next panel.
Well, I'm saying that when I first saw that first panel where they're all holding, I was like, "That's a little strange." But then as you keep reading, it does come in. All right, go for it,
Oh,
Stan.
yeah. So Morgana, says that since they had tracked him to Earth, they wouldn't have known about the plan if they hadn't tracked him there. And he's like, wait, we weren't tracking the Bother. That was a complete coincidence. We only found out about it after we arrived. Nope. Apparently they were there because their ship picked up a signal, a commercial for something called Warm Puppies, hot dogs. Yeah, that.
Well, tofu dogs, actually.
Yeah, which is why they're all green. Those
Yeah.
look so gross.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would ever eat one of those.
And they offer one to the botherer, but he kind of says, "I despise you."
Yeah.
So it's time for the goodbyes.
Yeah.
They
So
offer to take the botherer back to their planet to face trial, and then he tells them they hope to meet them again. They said, "I like your Earth very much."
yeah. Also a little bit of a plot hole here. They take the cabinet the Tulip and the Maven arrive in, but there's no the Botherer's cabinet that landed right next to it is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, it's completely gone, huh?
Yeah, so don't know if they were able to shrink it down and take it with them or what. But,
Yeah. And then it
so,
says the botherers' broken robots are still scattered all over St. Canard Plaza. And Morgana said, "I forgot about those."
why don't we just dump them on the harbor? Out of sight, out of. Don't you dare. How would you like it if I dumped a whole lot of litter in your living? It's like you'd think DW would have learned that lesson. Don't pollute Neptune with water.
Yeah, and then Gizmo Duck has an idea.
Yeah. Turn all of the Bother's robots into recycling and trash bin.
Yeah.
Recycled receptacles as repositories for redundant refuse? I like it.
And then Morgana tells him, "But Darkwing, I thought you weren't a fan of all this outer space stuff. These things are about as outer space as you can get."
Morgana, so what bothers me about outer space stuff is the outer space part. As long as they're full of good old St. Canard trash from the St. Canard streets, we're going to get along just fine.
All right, and that's the end.
Yep.
All right, so Stan, man, let's get into our villain really quick, man. How would you rate our villain?
I would rate the Botherer. Hate to say it, I'd rate him about a 1.5.
Okay, one
Like,
and a half.
as villain goes, he's not very threatening, which I guess is kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish they'd done a bit more with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really give him a better score than that.
Okay. I'm with you. I give him a 1.5 because he was all the gadgets about, with the Ray and stuff, and then like Maven and them, they had several things to counter it, and they knew exactly where his stuff would be. They knew it would be in high grounds, so he was pretty easy to defeat. I don't know why they needed all 5 Justice Ducks members. I definitely think because Gizmo Duck saved the day. Pretty much that was all they needed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Yeah, I will give him a 1.5. I'm not a big fan of the Baller. He's definitely. I think he's a one-off type villain, but I think he's a one-off villain for just one of those heroes. You didn't need all the Justice Ducks members.
Yeah.
We,
Also, I might point out this is now the second villain in a row that we've had kind of come from outer space.
hmm Okay, so we're both on the same page on that as far as the scoring, and not a big fan of the Botherer. All right, so
Right.
let's give the whole issue a score now. What would you score the whole issue?
Now, this is where I think we're going to differ quite a bit. I
Okay.
actually give the issue itself a solid 3, maybe even a 3.5.
Wow. Okay.
Because even though the Bother himself didn't quite fulfill the villain role
Mm-hmm.
really well, I really did like the issue overall. The whole Doctor Who homage thing was kind of cool. I thought Tulip and Maven were pretty cool new characters. I wouldn't have minded seeing pop up again if that ever happened. I like that we got a lot more of Darkwing's alliteration in this issue. There were some pretty decent jokes in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, Sam, I would only give it a 2. I'm not a big fan of it. I thought it was very simple, but I will co-sign you on this. I do like Maven and Tulip. I do think they're like pretty fun characters. And they're not in it as much as I wish they would have been in it more. I do think this could have been an episode with 1 or 2 Justice Duck members, maybe just one, and just add Maven and Tulip to help them out. Just that one Justice Duck member.
Yeah,
Um, I just didn't see the whole villain being threatening, and like they figured everything out so fast, and Maven and them came in at the beginning with the robots, they just pushed the button, and then when the rock soldiers came, they just had to find the ray. It just seemed too easy for me.
yeah.
Okay, so that's how I would score it. I just thought this was not a Justice Duck episode or issue. I keep saying episode. Um, but I definitely didn't think it was an issue that needed all of them. I just didn't think the threat was strong enough.
Yeah,
I
this
do
one could
get
have been,
now on the show, on as far as episodes, every time there was Justice Duck, was it Negaduck, right? The main
uh,
villain.
he was the main focus of the two-parter that brought the Justice Ducks together. The only other time I feel we kind of got Justice Duck ish stuff, though, I think was the Darkwing doubloon, which doesn't really count. Like, aside from the two-parter, I don't think the actual Justice Duck team got together again, did they?
Yeah, the only thing about the bloom was Neptunia was missing. I always thought that was really weird, but you are right. The other members do show up: Stegmut, Gizmo Duck, and Morgana.
Yeah, but
So,
aside from that, like, that's the only other sort of appearance of the team, I think.
so they really can't use the Fearsome Five for every single one. So they are experimenting. So you got to give them some credit for trying to create new characters. Just, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of these characters for the Justice Ducks.
And the sad thing is, there are other threats I think the Justice Ducks could be essential in. Like, here's an idea for Justice Ducks battle: bring back the alien hats.
Mm-hmm. Yo,
That's
yo,
the,
so you
like that.
you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the sort of threat where you could need a team to deal with.
Okay. I wasn't a fan of the hat, but I see what you're saying. I'm not going to say you're completely wrong. I was never a fan of the hat episodes.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so but I get what you're saying. I get your argument on it. Okay. All right, so Stan, we got what Justice Dex number 3 coming up next, right?
Yep, that'll be our next one that we try and tackle.
Yeah, hopefully we can tackle it out sometime next week. So we're gonna try our best to get these next couple of Justice Dex episodes a lot better than what we had before. Um,
Yeah.
you know, to be fair to Stan, he's been available. I haven't. This weekend I am going out of town. I will be at Corpus Christi for CadaverCon. Um, so yeah, I've just been busy, but I told Stan I will try my best to be available next week so we can knock out some more of this stuff. All right.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Stan, where can the people follow you at, man? What you got going on?
For me personally, I've got my two YouTube channels, DMC Jedi Man and DMC Jedi Man Gaming. With spooky season being here in the works, I'm trying to focus more on spooky content.
Okay.
I also have a fan pages for the channels for Facebook, Twitter, and Discord.
Okay. And then with Halloween coming up, I want to give a shout out to someone that passed away. I believe his name is Ken Page. Is it Ken Page?
Yep, the voice of Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, figure we got to give him a drop with Halloween coming up. Nightmare Before Christmas. I do have his autograph.
You do?
Yeah, I do have his autograph. I got his autograph about maybe 5 months ago. Plastic Empire did a private signing with him. I'm friends with the owner of Plastic Empire, and I was able to squeeze a Funko Pop in there and get it signed by him, man.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We've been losing way too many celebrities the past week and a half. I think like 6 or 7 different ones have gone.
Yeah, I know of 2 athletes. It was Pete Rose for you baseball fans, and Dikembe Mutombo. For celebrities, I'm aware of John Amos, right?
Yeah, although apparently he passed away back in August. I don't know why they're just starting to report about it now, but
yeah, it went viral like yesterday. Even TMZ reported it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else you're aware
of? Peter Renaday, Chris Christopherson.
Oh yeah, from Blade, right?
Yep, he was in Blade. He was the Rubber Duck and Convoy, and of course, he, along with Waylon Jennings and a few other singers, had that hit song "The Highwaymen."
Mm-hmm. All right, so maybe hopefully October will clean up some, man. Hopefully we won't get so much in October then.
I hope so.
All right. You got anything else, Dan?
No, although I did remember I didn't mention Mitzi McCall earlier.
Okay.
Should have brought her up too. Another Darkwing actress that passed away recently, Ammonia Pine.
Yeah, Ammonia Pine. Yep. Okay.
Because I think since the last time we did an episode, she passed.
Okay. Oh, and really quick, Stan, DuckTales, they have a comic coming out, correct?
Yes, they do.
All right. Are you gonna get it? Are you excited, or are you kind of like iffy about it?
I'm gonna get it. I'm liking what I've seen of the covers so far, and I'm very thankful we have completely new writers and artists. So hopefully it'll be done right.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna invest in like maybe the first 3 issues and see how it's going. And if I'm feeling it, I'll keep going. If not, I may call it quits.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Stan, man, if there's nothing else, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in for this issue of the St. Canard Files. And remember, stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous, everyone. Now I've got a hankering for some warm puppies.
Good night, everybody.